like, this is the coup de gravy. This is the coup de grace. This is our initial defense. These are all filled to the brim. This is probably the most important turret power tower that we have in the entire base. Going on again, Nerd Paraders? Thank you guys so much for coming back to hang out with me today. We're playing some more ARK Survival Evolved, and we're over here on the center server, PvP, once again, and we are in the Bear Cave base. The Bear Cave base has more or less been rebuilt. We're about 95% complete with the Bear Cave base, and I'm feeling pretty secure here again for the second go-around. We've improved on a lot of our weaknesses that we had the first go-around. I feel like we're much more stable this time. So I'm excited to get back out in the world of PvP. And before we do that, we're going to show off the base a little bit more. We're starting in the very back, and we're going to work our way forward. And some things you'll notice differently this time around. We've got a row of turrets back here just to support us in case somebody does manage to get through. We've done the full wall off again in the front. It's snowing in the cave again because physics. And this area here will be our little kibble zone. We've got Jones egg and poop collector, so we don't need to build the crazy like ramps. We can just stick the dinos there, let them fart out eggs all day long, and then we can make kibble from it. So yay for that mod. We're going to come up here to our first little death wall. Not all the turrets are filled. These are actually still unpowered. We haven't built the cables yet, but I'm just showing you off what the ceiling looks like more or less, and then I'm going to head back down and go through the base. We've gotten a couple of sneak peeks from the base already. Pro grapple skills. This is our little beer farmery. We've got beds in the very, very back now, so that if somebody does manage to breach through, we could still respawn and come through. That was a big thing. So this is the main base of operations. Let me put our crossbow away, and this is what we're dealing with here. We're back set up, I think actually stronger than what we were before. Definitely more fortified in the interior of the base. We've got fabricators up for bullet production, a lot more fabricators this time. Bullets are churning out like crazy. We're working with a very small room, more or less. I mean, everything's pretty much piled on top of each other. That is it. This is the entirety of the base, right here. The rest of it is just to be protected. We've got the S+s down, again, for the transfer system, which we're going through. We've got a little airlock here, and it takes us to our first Wall O' Death. Wall O' Death, again, not all the turrets are powered. Not all the turrets have bullets in them, but that's usually the last thing to come. They all have not all of them, but most of them have a little bit of bullets, little bit of bullets in them, just enough to fend us off. I forgot to introduce myself, guys. I'm sorry. I am Nick. This is Nerd Parade. Welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with me today. I hope you guys are having a fun time. Wall of Death number 2. Wall of Death number 2. We didn't build as high as we did last go around because they just managed to suicide bomb through it. If they get... We left a lot of free space here, too. Our biggest threat is the suicide bombers, so we need to try to hinder them as much as possible. I say this is 95% complete because I eventually plan to drop fence foundations and railings where I'm running right now. So as I'm running right here, we plan to put some like fence foundations and railings there just to stop anybody that may be trying to suicide bomb run. And we'll put enough... I'll show you some of the other stuff, and I'll explain why, but we're going to put enough to where they can't leap over that. And I'll show you what we're doing with that. And we'll talk a little bit about the tactics of that. Again, another death wall. We've got a hatch frame with some turrets going. We've got this little monstrosity over here, which is acting as another stopping point for this choke point here. This was in the raid. My tribe mates told me during the defense this choke point here was a very valuable choke point, just because of how small it is. We've also got a new style chandelier. I'm very proud of this chandelier. This was very difficult to build. It actually took a really long time, even though it's very simplistic. But we have turrets all up here, and these are filled to the max because it's impossible to suicide bomb this. The raiders would have to get through all the way past here and then have some kind of grapple to get up to this point, or rocket to bomb it down. Whatever the case, the rocket would be shot down by this wall, assuming it hasn't been blown yet. But we feel like this is going to be one of the most valuable points, so we filled those frickin' suckers to the brim. Now you'll notice we have the railings here. These railings have a purpose, and the only way for us to get over them, I'm giving you the entire view of the railings, is by grappling. For us, grapple, easy peasy. We always have it with us. For the raiders, They're going to be suicide bombing in with cluster grenades, C4 on their back, whatever the case. They're going to hit these, and they're going to try to jump over. This is why we have them placed like this. This is what's going to happen when they try to jump over. I'm banging my keyboard. I cannot move. I am stuck here permanently till I either die by the turrets or I get grappled out. And if someone does manage to carry a grapple, the grapple is slower than the suicide run. Then if someone mind wipes, pumps full move speed, the grappling is slower and they'll be shot as they're grappling. So whether they carry a grapple or not, they're going to be shot by the turrets. This is to stop people without grapples and people with grapples. That's the whole point of this thing. Now, eventually, this will have to be suicide bombed down so the raiders or invaders can progress towards the meat of the base. We do expect that in the event that that happens, we'll lose this, and this is where this comes into play. The chandelier. No matter what, it'll continuously be firing down during that whole process. So we've got... we're trying to get everything to work in tandem. This is what we were talking about when we were improving on our weaknesses, and a lot of this was found. But we're still working our way forward. If you saw in the previous episode where we were doing some... Oh, we lost a Pteranodon. Where we were doing some buildy times, we made this little choke point way, where we have vault drops. Now, we've sealed off the top because if they managed to get a Pteranodon in, they could maybe finagle their way through the top point. So we sealed that off with that little box crate kind of looking thing. Now we have a bajillion like airlock doors here, like legit 9 doors that they would have to C4 bomb through. And then we have the thatch where they're eventually going to get the black hole vaults, the black hole safes dropped in their path, and they're going to have to break through those because this pathway isn't large enough for the dropped vaults for them to get through. They would have to try to grapple over it. Granted, they could grapple over it once all this is said and done because there's no real turrets in this area, but it's something that would just kind of force them to be slowed down. We're trying to buy as much time as possible during a raid for us to defend. Here is something like, this is the coup de gravy. This is the coup de grace. This is our initial defense. These are all filled to the brim. This is probably the most important turret power tower that we have in the entire base because this stops everything that's coming through that choke point. That choke point there is the main entrance to the cave, and we've got these all angled and all set up to where they'll shoot over the railings. They will shoot over the railings. They are not line of sighted by the one high railings. If we did too high, they would be line of sighted, these ones on the bottom. So we wanted to maximize our turret firepower and still have the railings. Now again, it's the same situation as in the inside of the base. You jump on this thing, you're not going anywhere. You're just going to roller skate right off the back. And even, I can't hop off. It's got me like down at the end. If someone tries to hop over this, oh, there we go. I made it off eventually. If someone tries to hop over this, they're going to get stuck. Stuck long enough to be just railed by the turrets. I'm really sucking at my sprint jump. I want to try to show you like a sprint jump if someone could manage to do that. Someone get like a good running start and a sprint jump. See, that's why it's that long. Even with the sprint jump, even with move speed, they're not going to be able to make it all the way across. They're going to get stuck eventually, and it's just going to rail them right back. And all that time, they're going to get pelted. That's the reason why we have these fences like this, lined up like this, and instead of having like little triangles or stuff for people to get like kind of trapped in. Because somebody could potentially bunny hop from triangle to triangle. We did it like this so that they would get stuck and stall. That's the science behind this one. Now we've got this puppy here. Main line of defense. I feel good about this. We did a lot of testing on that in the previous video. They get like absolutely wrecked right here in this situation as they're crouching through to try to bomb. So by the time they even get here, they should be shot. Now there is something that I'm concerned about, and we've had comments about this as well. There is things I'm concerned about. It's one, someone with a riot shield coming through, buying enough time. It's going to be very expensive for the raiders, but someone with a riot shield coming through, buying enough time for other people to come in and bomb. Now, multiple bombs at once is a concern. This means that they are going to eventually get to here and keep bombing this thing down. This will go. These fence foundations will go. That's going to be the first thing that crumbles, so we've got to make sure that our defenses on the outside are pretty hardy to slow people down. But eventually, due to multiple people bombing at once, suicide style, with cluster grenades and C4, these will eventually break down. This turret wall, we've got it filled to the brim. It may not shoot all of the bullets, but we want it to have the most potential possible, just to slow down the invaders as quickly and as long as possible. This is just here. This isn't a stopping point. I'm trying to figure out words how to explain this on the fly with you guys. This is not a stopping point for invaders at all. This is a slowing point. This whole turret cluster here is simply to slow people down. The stopping point that we have is through here with the vaults, again, just trying to slow people down at this choke point here. Because once someone, the second this gets broken, as soon as someone gets to this area, the chandelier is going to be doing damage, and all of this thing from behind is going to be doing damage. As well as our first death wall, as well as our hatch frame, which we built out this far so that it kind of can shoot. Like, we built that hatch frame out for a reason, so it could extend far enough to shoot down this little corridor. This is where we're hoping that most of the stopping of invaders will occur. So that's why we built that way. I'm doing a bad job of explaining it, but I hope you guys are following me thus far and understanding why we're building the way we're rebuilding, because we felt like that was our biggest weakness, or one of our biggest weaknesses with the cave base last time. Now, we're moving our way outside. Finally, we're moving our way outside. We're actually making it completely out of the base. We don't even have a door on here. And the reason why we don't even have a door, you're probably thinking, why don't you have a door there? You're so dumb. When people get to this point, they're already getting shot. As they drop down from this little thing, it's going to be less of a deterrent. Not having a door is just wasted materials, basically. It would just be one extra rocket for those for the raiders. So if they could just come right here, get right down, and boom, they're already getting shot. So we feel like a door, whatever. We're not doing a super crazy thing. We've broken down the entire structure here, repurposed it, picked them up, replaced them for these guys. Let me gamma 4. That's a little brighter. It's almost dark. We've repurposed this more or less, and we've built kind of like Death Blossom turret towers. Now with these Death Blossom turret towers, they're just going to be here to guard the entrance to the cave. This is more or less our defense. We went way overboard with the defenses last time. Most of it was completely unnecessary, and it was completely circumvented. They ended up blowing right here on this side and taking out the side of the base and just kind of working their way into the cave. Well, now with these two turret towers, we feel like it's going to make it slightly more defensive, like less is more kind of situation. That's what I'm feeling like with these turret towers, and I'm hoping it's going to be able to kind of do the trick. It does leave us at a disadvantage when it comes to dino storage. We're going to have to figure out some kind of solution to where we can park Quetzals, where we can park bigger dinos, and I'm thinking if we build anything over in this area, it's just going to get line of sighted. It's going to block these turrets from basically firing. What I'm feeling is, this is why, again, I say 95% complete. Building some kind of just behemoth gate structure, no turrets on it at all. No turrets, but follow me here. No turrets on the behemoth gate structure at all. We're just doing, like, we'll do 2 behemoth gates wide and then build up around just to store the dinos, and we're going to do these Death Blossom turret tower style surrounding the dino pen. When that's all that's going to be in there, just dino storage. I don't know how well it's going to work out. I feel like it might be kind of left alone, more or less, in the instance of a raid, because it has nothing to really do with the main base. Our dinos will be kind of segregated away from the main base, and the defenses won't necessarily impede raiders going for the base. I don't know. We haven't really built anything yet because we're still brainstorming on that one. But the base in and of itself is done. All of our dinos are currently safe in the Underworld base. We can actually head over there now and show that off. We'll take a quick meander down to the Underworld and show off all the dinos, show what's going off in the Underworld. The Underworld's still fully intact. That's how we were able to rebuild our base here in the Bear Cave so quickly, is with the support from the guys in the Underworld helping us out the entire time. I got the screen freeze. I hate it when that happens. Darn you, center map. Let me work our way down to the Underworld. We'll BRBs when we get to the Underworld, and that's where all of our dinos are stored. And I'm really excited to get this dino pen built because we'll finally be... Screen freeze. Screen freeze. We'll finally be able to get our dino babies back to the bear cave, and we'll be able to continue our bear cave tribe life. All right, Nerd Paraders, we'll be right back. My mouth is getting a little bit dry. I've been rambling all this time. I'm so sorry for the rambles, but I really was excited to show off the revised bear cave base. And we're going to go ahead and meander our way down into the Underworld now. All right, Nerd Paraders, here we are in the Underworld. All the structures are loading in. They have been quite busy. They're building turret towers around the water. This amazing, like, chandelier-style turret tower is coming along great. This has been more or less one of their build projects. I'm super excited about this one. They're really, really fortifying the Underworld, and this is how we were able to, again, get rebuilt so quickly. Here's all our babies, still here, still intact, as the structures all load in. We're all good down here in the Underworld. This has been our main base of operations since the raid, and there's so much down here, it's taking forever to load in. Giant turret pillar in the center of the water. It's very fortified down here. We're lucky to have this as our main outpost. And again, the bear cave, I got the screen freeze. There's so much loading in. There's so much going on down here. I have a couple of ideas again for the bear cave that we're going to revisit just quickly because they've been suggested a lot in the comments. And I want to let you guys know that I do get your comments and I do read them, and your input is very valuable. And I appreciate it, and I try to respond to as many comments as I can. Some of them I miss, but I do try to respond to as many comments as I can, as long as they're positive ones, that is. And a lot of people have suggested narco traps and bear traps. Yes, I've gotten those comments. I promise you, and that's something that we are going to add. That is going to be like the icing on the cake, one of the very last steps that we add for the bear cave base, and that's coming. We're going to be strategically placing those in certain spots where we think it'll really slow down interlopers, intruders, and that's going to be something that's coming. But here's our main base of operations. The fuel that has been firing, the fire that's been fueling, the fuel that's been firing, whatever way you like best. This place has been fueling our rebuild. It's just not my favorite place to be because it gets laggy as balls down here because there's so much stuff. There's absolutely so much stuff. So many dinos, so many plant turrets. My frames dipped down to nothingness down here. Oh, GG ARK. But this is the life of an ARK parader. You must deal with the low foops whenever you build lots of cool stuff. Alright, Nerd Paraders, that is going to do it for the rebuild showcase of the Bear Cave base. Base showcase of the Bear Cave. I don't know. There was a rhyme in there somewhere, but I lost it like halfway through. I hope you appreciated it the first time it happened because I couldn't repeat it. But I hope you guys liked it. We're going to dip back out, head back to the Bear Cave base, and we are going to start to prepare for some raidy times. Some well overdue raidy times. So prepare your b-holes, people that are on the PvP Center server. There's going to be a raid in your future. Thank you, Nerd Paraders, so much for coming and hang out with me today. If you liked the video, boom, you know what to do for me. Hit that thumbs up button. Oh my god, so many screen freezes. Hit the thumbs up button to support Nerd Parade and his screen freezes. It's still screen frozen. I can't deal with this. The center map. Why do you do this? See, even with like, oh god, okay, it finally unfroze. Even with like a good computer, ARK still struggles. So if you get a little lag and a little screen freeze on your end, definitely don't feel bad, because even this Nerd Parader is not free from it. Everybody knows the struggles. Hashtag center struggles. All right, Nerd Paraders, like I said, if you like this video, hit the thumbs up button. If you haven't done so yet, subscribe to the page for some more cool videos just like this one. And as always, remember to take care of yourselves and stay awesome. We'll catch you in the next video with some raidy times. Later.